check, mic check. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Live Mixing. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the DIY or Die YouTube channel. This is where I teach you all the tips and tricks you need to learn all about mixing. It's a fun time. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. It's the end of the week. I'm glad I can spend the end of the week with you. All praise the salmon light. We got the salmon light bright and burning. Salmon light wasn't in the last video, unfortunately. I didn't realize that until after I uploaded it. I was like, salmon light's not on. I might have to redo that whole video. It fucks the feng shui up, if you know what I mean. We got a lot of news to talk about. I want to talk about the Save the Vape rally. I want to talk about the FDA putting electric shock. I shouldn't say the FDA. Massachusetts putting this electric shock device on students. Then I want to talk about this report that came out of the UK. We're going to talk about Adam Curry and Joe Rogan discussing the vaping epidemic. I want to talk about the weekly poll. Head over to Facebook group. Head over to the DIY or Die Facebook group. It's called the Mixers Collective. If you want to engage in the poll every week before live mixing, I'm going to put a poll up. You guys can vote on it, and we're just going to discuss it. It's usually going to be a topic pertaining to mixing and the troubles and tribulations you might find yourself in. I want to talk about the difference in the UK has with vaping, and I want to talk about Vaping with Vic getting banned off of YouTube. Vaping with Vic, very popular YouTube reviewer from, I don't know where he's from. I'm not actually too sure. Scotland, or is he from Ireland? I'm not 100%. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but nonetheless, YouTube terminated his channel. He didn't get a strike. He didn't get a warning. His channel got terminated. It is no longer there. Everything he's done on YouTube has been completely removed. I want to chat about that. And today we're going to mix up chocolate, peanut butter, banana pancakes. We're going to try, right? We're going to try to mix that up. In my mind, I have a pretty good idea of what we're going to do with that recipe. I think it's going to work this in a similar vein as I did with my Fire Trails recipe. I believe that's what it's called. It's either Top of New York or called Fire Trails, which is a banana nut bread blueberry pancake. This is going to be similar in that style. I'm going to kind of take some inspiration from that recipe and then utilize it in this new recipe. That should show you exactly how you should go about developing recipes through your own recipes. Using your own recipes is a good jumping point for new recipes. It's the best way to mix. One of the ways we all kind of get better is we tweak our older recipes. You know what I mean? All right. So again, this DIY or Die. This is live mixing every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, here on Twitch as well as YouTube. On Twitch, I go by No Life Digital. Twitch has much better quality live streaming. I will also be doing polls, which I believe you can do on YouTube, but I know you can definitely do it on Twitch. If you just want a little extra functionality from your streams, Twitch is a much better platform. The reason why I'm telling you this is because the Vaping with Vic stuff, we'll go over it in a little bit more detail, but YouTube is concerning me very, very much so. They have been for years. And now seeing that, it is worrying. Now, before we begin, I do want to recommend that if you enjoy DIY or Die, you want to support what I do. It's a very expensive endeavor. It takes a lot of time and effort. And to keep the lights on here, to allow me to put these videos out and these streams out, you can head over to flavorjungle.com to pick up my Enyal Reclaw flavoring one-shot concentrates. These are an easy way to get started in mixing. It's just you purchasing some flavors that I put together to create a recipe. You pour that in a bottle with your base, you're good to go. $9.99 can mix you up around 300 mils. FlavorJungle.com, my entire Enyal Rec Law collection is up over there. If you want, you can head over to liquidbarn.com to pick up my Tastemaker one-shots. These are a little bit different. These are a little bit more geared for ease of use. They're a little bit, recipes are easier to understand. And again, you can head over to liquidbarn.com. These are also a little cheaper. You can get a 15 mil for $4.99, and that'll get you around 150 mils of finished product. Liquidbarn.com, use code DIY for 15% off. You can finally, if you're in the UK or the EU, head over to chefsflavors.co.uk and pick up my one-shots, even if you're across the pond. So there's no excuse, pick them up. I very, very, very much appreciate everyone who has purchased these one-shots, but more so people who actually use them and enjoy them and tweak them and critique them and share posts and that, I mean, all that tremendously helps what I do here, and that sort of like grassroots marketing really helps me. So if you enjoy the products and you tweak them in a way that you find makes it taste better, maybe you add something to it, or maybe you do things a little bit differently, just post about it. Just use the products as you normally would a flavoring. These are nothing different than a flavoring. It's just that with my specific products, you don't have to mix them with any other flavorings. It's just ready to go. If you don't want to, of course you can. And again, I support anyone who wants to tweak with them. All the recipes except for rose milk are available for anyone to tinker with and you can build all of these recipes that I sell from scratch. You can get all the ingredients. I give you the exact variables and concentration levels to mix them up. I'm one of the only people in the industry that gives you all of the recipes, and you use that to your advantage, please. All right, so I do want to try to make these a little bit faster. I make them a little bit more, streamlined. Let's cut the fat. Let's cut the bullshit. How is everyone doing this evening? Hopefully you guys had a good week. I know I've been very, very busy. I'm a little bit behind on the masterclass and on the application. Hit a couple speed bumps and just been grinding away. I believe I'm developing carpal tunnel, and I'm not joking. I think I'm getting carpal tunnel in my wrist from typing. I'm literally typing like a madman. I type pretty quickly. I like to speed type from time to time. I've had to kind of slow down on all that because I'm just getting I'm just typing too much, man. It's becoming an issue, and I have these lumps in my arms and not fun. But that's what I've been kind of up to, just grinding away and trying to get as much as I can done. And hopefully you guys had a better week. If you had anything interesting come up, we had Super Tuesday over the week, which was interesting. Looks like Joe Biden is sweeping away with the nomination for the Democratic nominee. It's not too surprising. He's more of a centrist, and it seems as if America, with Trump in office, at least on the left, they want to kind of return a little bit more towards the middle of things where we're just not so polarized. And I believe a lot of people kind of want to swing the pendulum the other way, all the way over to Bernie Sanders. Looks like a lot of Americans, especially down in the middle of the country, just kind of, hey, let's just get back to normal. Let's get back to a state where we can kind of just both bicker about these policies, but we're not so polarized right and left, which I can understand. But you never know. You never know. It's just like there's so many policies on the right that I love and agree with, and with all of my being agree with. But there's also just so much politics thrown in the way that you get into foreign policy, you kind of just like, all right. It would be nice if we can get some middle ground. You know what I mean? The fact that, just like with the vapor vote, the fact that the House just unanimously, all the Democrats vote yay on a complete ban of a harm reduction product, that's posturing. That's political posturing. There is no policy. There's no health in mind with these animals in these offices. These people, they're just playing politics. And it's because we have this polarization in the government right now. If that wasn't there, who knows? Maybe we would have some better policy, some more, focused, science-based, fact-based, logic-based policy. But, whatever. It is what it is. I also do enjoy the Trump politics. I've enjoyed politics more so now that Trump's been in office than I have ever. Right? I think what Trump is doing in office is just it's I shouldn't say enjoyable, but it's enticing. Like I I stay up to date with it, and I love his just brash attitude against these other politicians. It's one of the reasons why so many Americans voted for him. Just the fact that he just kind of gives it to these people. I mean, a lot of these people are not good, right? They don't care about you. They don't care about your families. They don't care about your job. All they care about is just them and their donors. And to see someone kind of go in there and rustle their feathers, I mean, it's great to see. And hopefully someone in office can continue that trend. These people should be held accountable for the terrible things that they're doing. I mean, someone like Cuomo, someone like Charlie Baker in Massachusetts. These people are bad people. The fact that they are able to get votes and infiltrate American families is just crazy. So it's always nice to see, these tweets from Trump that just, you wake up and you see a few and you're just like, all right, there you go. Calling mini, tweeting the thing where you see him with the podium up here because he's so short and calling him mini Mike. I love that shit. I'm going to miss it. All right. So, all right. I see some questions. Let me get into some questions. If you have questions anytime during the show, feel free to drop them in the chat. Make sure you tag me at DIY or Die so I can see them a little bit easier. Yo from New Zealand. What is up, New Zealand? I love the strap-on of your Watermelon. I think that's a great rendition. That's what I'm talking about. I love when people do that stuff with the one-shots. Just more strap-ons, more of all that stuff. It's fun. That's essentially the goal. And I'm trying to build some more products that you can do that easier, maybe a little less, where you can add a little bit more customization to them without running into that over flavoring headroom. But that's a little bit down the line. We're in a weird period with vaping right now. It's not a good idea to release any new things. You just kind of have to wait it out and see what's going on, to see where the market takes us, to see how enforcement is played off. It's just not a smart idea for anyone to be releasing anything. The ugly guy with the hat. Try another keyboard with a bigger keystroke and mechanical key switch is so much better for typing than standard keyboards. I have a nice keyboard. My keyboard, I spent a good amount of money on it. I have Securio key switches, and I have the new GMK Olive keycaps on them on a 65% mechanical. And I also use a wrist rest. I'm literally typing a lot, and I think that's what has to do with it. I was thinking about getting an ergo keyboard, the ones that kind of separate in the middle and you can type like this. I've been thinking about getting that because when I do these long stretches of a lot of typing, it does bother more so my forearms, right? My hands are fine. It's really just my forearms that they kind of get a tingling sensation. And sometimes I'll go to sleep and I'll wake up and my arms are just dead. Like my arms are numb. Like I can't feel them for a good few minutes. So they're not getting enough blood flow, and it's something I'm going to have to figure out. But I do appreciate the suggestion. If you guys know any good ergo keyboards, like nice ones, I'm not opposed to spending good money on a good keyboard since I use it all day. Let me know. I've been looking at a couple Alice's, but I don't know. I've never bought one before. Have you heard Jam Monster recipes got leaked? Have you tried them? I have heard them, and I do have the recipes, and what exactly was the issue? This was before I moved. I got the recipes. I need to bring them up. I don't remember where I put them, and I don't remember who sent them to me. They might be I know where they are. So there was an issue. Maybe it was an ingredient. I didn't have a certain ingredient. There was a weird ingredient in the recipe that I didn't have, and I also was just busy, so I didn't have time to sit down and actually mix it. And I'm glad you brought it up because I completely forgot about it. But yeah, the recipe did get leaked. And I haven't tried it yet. I need to get a certain ingredient for it. I don't know if I'm going to promote it, right? I don't know if I'm going to do a video on it. I want to. I really do want to. But I don't know how this... I don't know what's up with the company. I don't know if the company's still making juice. I think they are, right? And if that's the case, I don't know if it's a good idea to do that because... From what I remember, there was a disgruntled employee, and he somehow had the recipes, and he was the one that posted the recipes online, and I believe the company contacted Reddit and got the subreddit to actually take the post down. And some, of course, you post something on the internet, it's going to be there forever. So the recipes are out there. I do have the recipe. I don't know. It's something that I have to think about. I haven't really dove into the morals of that yet. I would hate if someone was able, if I had a recipe. See, I'm a little bit of a different scenario because I post my recipes online. But say someone had the rose milk recipe and they were working for me and they left the company and they were very upset with our interactions and they released that recipe. I would be upset because I have a different outlook for that recipe, right? I view that recipe a little bit differently than I view my other ones. But I'm also a guy who posts his recipes online. So if I'm a company, I don't post anything online and my recipes get leaked, it's a different story, right? It's a different story. So I don't know yet. I don't know. But I have seen them. I haven't mixed them up yet. If you have mixed them, I would like to know what you think. I mean, from what it looks like, my original clone was kind of close. Like, it was on the right track. There was a few things a little bit differently. I think the strawberries were different, but my recipe was pretty close. And I mean, the recipe looks like it works. It looks like it works and it looks like it makes sense. I would suspect it to actually be the recipe. And that's a full-on leak. That's not a cut with leak, right? That's not a cut with unicorn milk leak. If the recipe is legit and it tastes very, very similar to it, then it's a full-on leak. And that is a different moral ground. Like, you know, you could get sued. I don't know what the legal implications of that are. But I do have it. I see some other questions. I had to have surgery for carpal tunnel. Oof. I mean, that's what I'm hoping I don't have to. Hopefully, I don't get to that point. I would hate to do that. I have mixed up blueberry jam monster and strawberry. Yes, the weird ingredient is from Flavor Labs. Kind of hard to order, but I got it. Yeah, that was it. The Flavor Labs. The blueberry was on point, but the strawberry wasn't that good to me. Interesting. I mean, do you not like jam monster? Like, have you had the original? I thought both of them were okay. I love the PB and Jam Monster, and they all got leaked. I mean, all their entire line, the recipes are out there. But yeah, they were using an interesting flavoring house, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know yet. I believe they're still selling it. So it's not a good idea for I mean, just recipe theft is a thing in itself, right? And that's its own thing. And I'm such a moral, like, I have such a moral affinity to recipe theft, where this is like this is a different beast, but I still kind of, because I'm so against recipe theft, I feel like I should take a stand here and just not discuss it and not talk about it and not bring up the recipe unless the company goes under. If the company goes under and we find out that they're not making the juice anymore, then it's fair game. But until then, I'll probably, you can find it if you really were looking for it. All right. So let's get into some news. So quickly, we have the UVA Save the Vape Rally. We have another rally coming up May 2nd, 2020. It's in the Ellipse, Washington, D.C. from 12 to 4 p.m. Mark your calendars, May 2nd, 2020 at the Ellipse, Washington, D.C., 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Another rally. The reason why we need another rally, the first one went swimmingly. The first one got us a beautiful amount of attention. It was able to get us a meeting with the president to sit down to discuss vaping and the role that tobacco harm reduction, or the role that vaping plays in tobacco harm reduction, and getting Greg Conley to go against Matt Myers and all the I mean, it was such a great time in vaping's history. And another rally needs to be had because we still have the PMTAs that need to be reformed. Secretary Azar has stated that they're supposedly working on a streamlined avenue for small businesses and open vaping companies. That has yet to come to fruition. As it stands currently, the PMTA is still very, very much a prohibitive process that is going to bar many, many companies from entering it and essentially wipe out a ton of the market. 99% of the market. So PMTA does need to be reformed. This is the thing that has needed to be reformed for years and years and years. It looks like the Trump administration's White House is taking a better, more lenient approach to vaping as we've ever seen before. Their recent letter that was stated to the House on that vaping bill basically showed me that they are willing to allow the industry to bloom and to flourish. They just don't want the FDA regulating it. They want their own sort of Senate approved, of course, because the Republicans hold the House or the Senate majority. They want a tobacco, their own tobacco agency with a Senate appointed director to run that thing, and then that will be regulating the vaping industry and the tobacco industries as well. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I mean, I'm sure there's debates for both sides, but to me, that letter basically showed that, look, we're willing to work here, and we do understand the value, both in terms of just health, but also politics, and also jobs and the economy, and just personal liberties, right? Personal liberties. So we do need to get the PMTAs reformed. We need some sort of answer, is basically what I hope this rally is able to do. I hope this rally, and they see the amount of people there. May 2nd, guys, though, this one is in a couple months. You have a few months to get your stuff in order to go. It's not like last time where it was a do or die situation and it kind of came to be pretty quickly. You have a couple months, so I would suggest, if you enjoy vaping and you enjoy the industry, that you do try to make it out there and get your voices heard. I will probably be going there, right? Washington, D.C. is not too far from me. I had a blast at the last one. You know, I got to meet all of the crew, all of the YouTube vaping crew, and that was fun. I've never met a lot of them before. And I'll probably be going to this one too. So if you want to come and just, talk shop, I'll be there. All right. Okay. Let me see. I'm missing some questions here. Jimbo Hall, PB and grape jam monster was not bad. Too sweet, but not bad. Well, I like the strawberry one. The strawberry one I liked. I found that one to be pretty good. 2% super sweet. Goodness gracious. No wonder people like it. It's hard on the coils though. Yeah, I mean, I told you guys, 2% super sweet is industry standard. That is what the industry standard amount of sweetener is. Most companies use 2%. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. That is so sweet. That is so sweet. So sweet. All right, so this is not a vaping story, but I mean, this is just fucking insane. When I saw this, I was like, I have to talk about this on live mixing. So the FDA had to ban school electric shock devices. The ban is national, but it is squarely targeted at a single school in Massachusetts that has been using electric shocks to condition students' behavior for decades. So you can see here, it's on this dude's leg, taped on there. In a rare and sweeping decision, the FDA announced this week that it would be banning the use of electric shock devices to correct self-harming or aggressive behavior. The practice presents an unreasonable and substantial risk of illness or injury, the agency said in a statement on Wednesday. The ban is national, but is targeted at this school, the Judge Rottenberg Educational Center in Canton, Massachusetts, which serves students, both children and adults, who have intellectual disabilities or behavioral, emotional, or psychiatric problems. It appears to be the only school in the United States that uses this painful electric shocks to discipline students, and the practice has been in place there for decades. Now, the fascinating thing is that a lot of the parents of these students are disappointed that the FDA banned it. A lot of them say that it actually did help them. So if you come down here, the decision was culmination of more than a decade. In one episode, Andre McCollins, an 18-year-old student, did not take off his jacket as instructed and was shocked repeatedly. In the video, he can be heard screaming "ow" over and over. And here's the video. It's a little graphic, so if you don't want to see it, then turn your screen off or something. Hopefully, you guys can hear this.
The FDA,
but you can see. I mean, it is. If it loads.
Taking the rare step.
Physically, mentally, emotionally. That device is very like an animal.
There's a ban on the device.
Do anything. And to treat him like an animal while other children looked on. It just shows
this is nuts.
The evilness.
This is like some old school, that's some old school shit, man. I mean, I wouldn't even do that to my dog. I wouldn't even do it to River because it's not a good way to train him. Like, that type of therapy is not, it produces aggression and it produces fear and trauma. And I mean, it could really fuck someone up. Some people are receptive to that type of conditioning. And there's proven research that shows like some people are just more receptive to punishment as a motivating factor. But some people aren't. And you can't go into someone's brain and figure that out. So it's like you're just rolling the dice. You could be producing some insane person that is just so anxious all the time. They've just been shocked when they were a kid. It's fucking nuts. But the shocking thing is, some of the parents were upset that this was removed. Some of the students' relatives have defended the practice, saying that it worked to change the students' behavior when nothing else could, and denounced the FDA's decision. I just feel like I got punched in the gut when they did this, said Louis Goldberg, 66, whose son Andrew Goldberg, 39, lives at the center. I'm just so sad. She said that her son had brain damage and epilepsy, and that he showed severe aggression as a teenager. There were violent episodes, trips to the hospital, and psychotropic medications that left him sluggish. His mother said he was placed in physical restraints for hours at a time. His life was torture. He went to live at the thing at 19, began wearing an electric shock device. Miss Goldberg said her son would receive two 2-second shocks as a sporadic part of a broader treatment plan. He has since been weaned off the device and can do things he could not do before, like go to the movies. This treatment works, and I will stand by it, and I will fight for it. I mean, that is what's baffling to me, is that there's people that say, hey, look, this worked for us and our family, and I can't believe that they're removing it. And I mean, I'm sure it looks barbaric, but it seems as if nothing else worked, and we didn't want our son all drugged up, because that's not good either. I don't know how you're supposed to fix that. I'm not, a psychiatrist. That is something that is far out of my league. But for some reason, I don't think America should be placing shock devices, especially on adults and children. I don't think they should be placing shock devices on these people without their consent, and like strapping them down and shocking. I mean, that's fucking nuts, man. That's fucking nuts. Call me a millennial. I don't know. Maybe this is an old school practice that some of you guys can defend. I'm not judging. I'm just saying I wouldn't do that to River. If I was trying to train River to not piss and shit in the house, I'm not going to attach a shock device. I have much more success, at least specifically with my dog, with positive enforcement and just being a good, I don't know, dogs, watching like Caesar and just watching my in-laws and how they treat dogs. Their dogs are fucking saints. Dogs really kind of respond to like a good stern role model, and just kind of taking that and being calm and cool and collected and just being assertive, that produces a much better result than any sort of punishment would. And I can only imagine that's probably somewhat true for humans. I mean, right? Don't you think maybe they just need certain role models? I don't know. What the fuck do I know? I did want to bring it up though. I found that insane. I found that interesting. I found it was crazy that we were doing that. There was a school in the US doing that. The parent needs electric shock treatment, right? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't use shock collars on dogs, let alone people. Right, exactly. I know a lot of you guys agree with me. Some people, hey man, I don't agree with it, but some people they hit their dogs, they shock them, they put the prong collars on them, they're real rough with them. They think like you just gotta smack some sense into them. Some people think like that. I don't agree with it, but whatever. Looks like some people agree with shocking children and adults. That is crazy to me. Okay, we have another study here. Not a study, but just a report. This is from The Conversation. Vaping and heart disease setting the record straight. A paper by prominent U.S. academics found that people who use e-cigarettes were at a greater risk of heart attack. The authors concluded that e-cigarettes were just as risky as tobacco in provoking heart attacks, and that using e-cigarettes as traditional cigarettes at the same time was even riskier. Unsurprisingly, this caused stir in the media in the form of 35 news stories to be exact, and unsurprisingly, it provoked vigorous scientific debate. 8 months later, the paper was retracted. Remember, this was the Glantz paper. This was the Glands paper by Stanton Glanz. And this was the Jaha paper that got retracted. It's just not good. When the paper is retracted, it means we can't trust its results. It's like being unpublished. The problem is the paper still exists, and it's in news stories, it's on social media, it's in documentaries. Smokers see these stories and increasingly think e-cigarettes are as harmful as smoking. That's a problem because smoking is deadly. In this study, the authors used a large set of information from adults in the U.S. Particularly, they looked at people who smoked. And you know what? I don't even think we need to continue down this one. But I did want to show you guys this article from The Conversation that does kind of put things into perspective on not just the article getting retracted, but the misconceptions of vaping and kind of how it got here. So go check that one out. I also want to bring up this from the UK. This is from Alex Norcia. The UK government says what the UK, I can't read today. The UK government says what the US won't. Vaping is safer than cigarettes. Alex Norcia, by the way, is one of the best reporters on vaping. He's been doing great. He's over at Vice, and I highly suggest you follow him because his work on vaping has been great. Amid rising fears around the world that e-cigarettes and vaping products could be just as harmful as cigarettes, England's leading health agency has released its annual reporting on vaping, which argues that vaping nicotine is indeed a safer alternative to smoking. Though not completely safe, vaping regulated nicotine products has a small fraction of the risks of smoking, the authors of the report state. The report, which was released Wednesday by PHE, reiterates the harm reduction argument that public health officials in England have been making for years. It's a claim that the CDC in the US has not yet made. The view of e-cigarettes in the UK has been drastically different than that in the US, where last year the CDC took months before determining that the likely culprit for an outbreak of vaping-related injuries and death was a compound in illicit THC cartridges. Before that determination, there was widespread speculation about what exactly had caused the vaping-related illnesses and worries soaring over teenage vape use. The mystery brought about something of a panic in America. Cities and states began prohibiting the sale of flavored products, and the federal government instituted a partial ban as well. And then you kind of go down here. Right here. The concern seems to have made its way across the Atlantic. According to the government report, the percentage of people who believe vaping is safer than cigarettes declined from 45% in 2014 to 34% last year. PHE attributed that trend to imported misinformation from the US, which it believes will prevent smokers from switching to vaping. So it seems as if the UK was implored to put this report out to say, look, you guys got it all wrong. Like, you're not looking at the data in an objective light. You're looking at it with rose-tinted glasses, and you need to look at it in a scientific, objective light. We have the facts. It is safer than smoking. Yes, it's safer than smoking. Them saying that is great. Them specifically saying it's safer than smoking is great, because now you actually have evidence you can point to that says vaping is safer than smoking, right? So we've always had the Public Health England study that showed it was 99% safer. It's updated. We're here now. England is a leader right now in harm reduction, especially in the tobacco world. I believe in the drug world as well. I mean, I believe so. I could be wrong in that. But it's something that the U.S. doesn't really want to take a lead on, and we know why. It's money. It's money. It's donors. It's Bloomberg and the amount of influence and money that he has, and it's unfortunate, but hopefully, slowly we can start turning this tide around where it's undeniable. And there's a new boogeyman that these fucking losers can go after and just leave us and our harm reduction alone. That's essentially what has to happen. They're never going to be satiated. They're always gonna look for that bad thing to make money off of. That's what they do. They make money off of calling things bad and getting bills to try to ban these bad things. That's how they make money. So instead of trying to eliminate them completely, it's a good idea to just, hey, go do something somewhere else. Leave us alone, and then give it to someone else and let someone else figure it out. You know what I mean? Let another industry work that one out. So yeah, so that was interesting. There's a lot of news. I'm trying to get through this as quickly as possible. Joe Rogan Experience. We also have this beautiful piece of exchange from the Joe Rogan podcast. Probably can't play too much of it, but this was from the latest episode with the Podfather, Adam Curry. He's pretty much invented podcasting, and he does the source code, and he was a great guest, but he vapes.
It's just nuts how much money is involved in it and how many people look away. People are trying to stop different flavored tobacco smoke. I see you're a vapor.
Well, that I actually looked into that very, very deeply.
Yeah.
This was the tobacco industry had a problem. The problem was this. I kicked cigarettes with this. because it's just, you can have nicotine in it or not, but it's not.
And
a
if you had
tobacco.
any health consequences from using that thing? 'Cause
Zero.
I keep hearing about people getting lung issues. And
Well, okay, so a couple things happened. The lung issues, and I don't know who you know personally, but there was
I don't know anybody personally.
there
that
was a
has problem.
scare, and the scare killed a couple of people, like 10 people. And what it turned out was that was people who had vaped THC cartridges. And because the people who you buy your THC cartridge from a dispensary here, it's actually packaged by somebody else, not by that person. So you have, King World or whatever, these different, that's kind of a reputable brand, but it's packaged somewhere else. That means putting the stuff in. And they put in some vitamin E acetate, and that just kind of like created heat that up and became a web of some shit inside your lung and fucked you up. So that's a bad thing, but it had nothing to do with vaping nicotine with the typical chemicals that you get from reputable companies.
Can I
that
ask
do
you
that.
this? Is the
So how awesome is that, man? And this goes on for 10 minutes and they talk about this, and I highly suggest you watch the entire podcast. It's fascinating. The guy he is a fascinating guy, and the podcast was pretty well done. But yeah, I mean, like, a lot. I see people on Twitter all the time trying to get Joe Rogan's attention and trying to get this insane story of corruption and just this insane story of corruption of the vaping industry and the tobacco companies and Big Pharma and the whole Bloomberg thing, trying to get this story over to Rogan. And then you kind of have someone who just kind of casually bring up like, look, man, that whole thing was just bullshit, right? It was black market THC products, had nothing to do with nicotine products. And then they go on further with the conversation. But it's good to see that kind of truth does get out there naturally, right? It just naturally got there. Like, the truth naturally gets out there is what I'm trying to say. And that's always nice to see. You don't have to worry about trying to megaphone something and get, thousands and thousands of people to portray something. It'll just naturally make its way through the media, make its way through people. Hopefully, more people see that. If you look at the comments, they're relatively good on the topic as well. People in the comments also understand, like, yeah, it was a bunch of bullshit. It was these drug dealers just putting the shit in the vapes that were harming people and nothing to do with nicotine. They're just trying to ban it because they're losing out on cigarette taxes. So that's always cool to see, man. That's always cool to see. If I sat down with Joe Rogan and I had a couple hours to chat with him, I think I think people would find the story of vaping so fascinating. Like, I really do. It's just such a fascinating story. It's just so interesting. It's just such an interesting story that I think people would really find it interesting, and they would have curiosity, and they would go, wow, I had no idea there was something that states are in debt to big tobacco through this thing called the Master Settlement Agreement, which basically gave tobacco companies a bailout. And I mean, it's just so crazy. The story itself and how these consumers created this product from this Chinese pharmacist and tinkered with it and then created the industry that we know now. And it became so big that the tobacco companies became threatened by this new technology, and then Big Pharma comes in and Bloomberg has to come in. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And I do think you could fill 2 hours with that whole story and people would be riveted. I could be biased because I don't know, maybe I find it more interesting, but I think that could be cool, man. What's the episode called? It's just the one with Adam Curry. It's literally the one that was aired yesterday. So you can check it out on his channel. Okay. And then finally, we have some crazy news from Vaping with Vic. He had his fucking YouTube channel terminated. Hi, Team YouTube creators. My channel and my whole Gmail account has been terminated. I followed every rule on the community guidelines and all the messages from my support person, yet my channel still got taken down. Can you please help? And if you click on his channel, it does not come up. This account has been terminated for violating YouTube's community guidelines. And then you can see here the reason for that final strike. So I guess he had a 3-strike rule. I guess that's what happened here. Let me actually see. Is this a 3rd strike deal? I don't know. I guess I don't know. Maybe he did. But he said, the reason for that final strike, I do not own a vape shop, don't work in a vape shop. It had all its links stripped, leaving only social media, and even its timestamp links were removed. So how could I be selling regulated goods? And then it says here, our team has reviewed your content, and unfortunately, we think that it violates our sale of regulated goods policy. We removed the following content from YouTube: Cloud Island e-liquid. We know that this might be disappointing, but it's important to us that YouTube is a safe place for all. If content breaks our rules, we remove it. If content breaks our rules, we remove it. If you think that you've made a mistake, you can appeal and we'll take another look. Keep reading for more details. How your content violated this policy. Content intended to sell certain regulated goods and services is not allowed on YouTube. This includes directly selling or providing links to sites that sell them. Regulated goods or services include online gambling, casinos, alcohol, nicotine, unlicensed medical services, stolen financial information, or endangered species. Endangered species, huh? Please remember that these are just examples and don't post content if you think it may violate this policy. So I guess they took down other videos that violated this policy, and then this was the third one of that, and that was the one that removed the strike. And remember, you get 3 strikes. I mean, YouTube pulls your whole channel down. And that brings up a question, right? Does the act of reviewing vapor products, is that promoting the sale of regulated goods? If I'm reviewing this RDA, it's not a nicotine product, it's not a tobacco product, it's not even a regulated good, right? It's for all intents and purposes, it's just a hunk of metal. Really, it has no use other than to increase the airflow of a certain type of vapor apparatus that uses a Vive 10 threading. So does me reviewing that violate YouTube's regulated goods policy? I personally don't think it does. I think unless you're specifically marketing an e-liquid that contains nicotine, which I mean, is that what this video was? I don't know. I haven't seen the video. Cloud Island e-liquid. I don't know what that is, right? haven't seen that video. I'm not even really familiar with Vaping with Vic. I know he's kind of popular in the UK. Researching this stuff today, I found that there was some drama going on with his channel and some other stuff as well. I don't know what's going on, but I personally believe unless you're actively promoting and marketing a nicotine e-liquid, saying, check this e-liquid out, it tastes great, you can go buy it here at blah blah blah.com, I don't think anything else violates that regulated goods policy. Obviously, I'm not the one at YouTube calling the shots. They might have a different definition. YouTube is notoriously bad at communicating their policy to creators. There's been a huge purge recently that just got so many channels knocked off. I mean, it's crazy the amount of channels that just got dropped in the past week or so. Some for harassment, some for this, some for that. It seems as if YouTube is really trying to go in a more marketable path, a more commercially viable path, a path that's going to abide by FCC rules. So you got to remember, the internet isn't quite regulated by the FCC. So you could say and do whatever you want on the internet. And I believe YouTube was that way for a while, but I believe YouTube, they're going to want that FCC sort of regulation so they can get those big advertisers. Because right now, the advertisers aren't that big. They have some big ones, but it could be a lot bigger. And I think that would play a big role in that. So they're going to try to make this content as squeaky clean as possible. And that removes all sort of adult content. I had to go through and make sure that any sort of links like that were removed from my videos, and that some videos had to be age restricted. So I get worried about that because this channel could easily be seen as something else, right? It could easily be seen as something else. So I have to really kind of tiptoe and do a bunch of different things. Now, I knew that going into this, I'm going to take responsibility here. I knew this going into creating this channel, the day one. It's the reason why the website exists. It's the reason why I upload my videos to Facebook and Instagram and other places as well. I know the risks associated with using only YouTube as a platform, so I wanted to make sure that should any crazy shit happens, that DIY or Die will still live on. I can self-host, I can host this way, I can host that way. Nothing would really change except all of my videos would have to be re-uploaded, and that could take a lot of time. All my videos are saved externally, they're saved in other services. I would be okay. It's just in terms of growth, that would be a little bit difficult. So one of the things that I brought up on my Twitter is that there's so many people that complain about YouTube. I complain about YouTube. You guys complain about YouTube. We all have problems with YouTube. They're always banning people, our favorite creators, with no reason. They just do whatever the fuck they want. Unfortunately, no one gives a shit. Everyone still only uses YouTube. How many of you guys right now are watching on Twitch? Right? Let's look at the numbers, actually. I think that's a good experiment. Let's look at the numbers from those watching on YouTube versus watching on Twitch. Now, you might have a reason to use one or the other. All right? I'm not saying that I'm not saying one is right and one is wrong. You might have your own personal preferences for why you use one and why you use the other. But
it's like they're still in.
Give me 1 second here. But we have 164 on YouTube, and we have 13 on Twitch. We have 13 on Twitch. Is Twitch any better? No, it's not. It's not any better. I'm just saying we all have big issues with YouTube, yet the numbers have only shown YouTube's growth. YouTube has never dipped in following. They have never dipped in view time. They have never dipped in viewership. They have never dipped in creation. They've only grown. Them putting the clamp down has only seen them grow. So them banning things like Alex Jones and then banning things like Sargon of Akkad and banning things like Vaping with Vic has only seen the platform grow. So they see nothing wrong with it. Them implementing this Team YouTube, this depersonalized algorithm that responds on Twitter in stock captions, it's only seen them growth. So they're never going to change ever unless people stop using it and move to a different service. Now, if Facebook creates a better service, if Twitch creates a better service, if Vimeo creates a better service, that remains to be seen. I get that YouTube is the best. Like it just is the best. It's the fastest and it's just the best in terms of just, I want to watch some internet content. YouTube is the best. And it's going to be very, very difficult for anyone to change that. But we're just going to keep having these problems, right? We're just going to keep having these problems. I think this is only going to get worse until maybe 10, 15 years down the line when everything is just TV. It all just reminds you of TV and it sucks. And then everyone's going to go to a different platform. But that's going to take so long. It's not going to happen anytime soon. If you enjoy adult content because you're an adult, you don't want to watch, squeaky clean baby bullshit, then YouTube is just not the platform it used to be. It's not for you. And I hate to say it, this channel is somewhat of an anomaly. Even on Twitch, it's somewhat of an anomaly. I shouldn't even technically exist. Somehow I do. But I cannot imagine this is going to be something that persists, 15 years from now. So just think about that, when you see a creator that you love and they go to a different platform, it's just a survival technique. Like they know that YouTube is the best. They know that you want to watch on YouTube. I know that, right? I know everyone wants to watch on YouTube, but the type of content we provide, it may not be feasible. You know what I mean? It may not be feasible. So you might have to watch their content somewhere else. And if that's an inconvenience, that's enough to make you unsubscribe, then so be it. But you were going to lose out on that anyway because they were going to lose their platform, like what happened with Vic. I think he's uploading on BitChute now and something else. I think maybe Facebook, which is a good move. I actually like Facebook, and I like their free speech policies so far. They have some questionable stuff, but in terms of content, I've never, ever, ever had an issue with Facebook. I've only had issues with YouTube. So I don't know. It's something that's going to have to get worked out in the future. Twitch is very bad. Like Twitch is really, really bad with their censorship policies and them banning users. They do it all the time. There's a huge sexist bias that goes on over at Twitch. Me even just saying that could get this channel banned on Twitch, but that's just the truth. It is what it is. That's just how it is over there. So don't expect that to be any sort of safe haven. I think Facebook, what Instagram becomes, and what some decentralized video platform becomes. Otherwise, it's all self-hosting stuff. You're just going to have to go to DIY-vaping.com, vapingwithvic.com, blah, blah, blah.com. I think that's where a lot of people are going to start to head. It used to be very expensive to do that. That's why you saw a lot of people moving to YouTube because YouTube offered uploading and encoding and bitrate encoding all for free. I mean, that's the best part about YouTube. You can watch my videos in South Africa at 420p, even though I didn't upload it in 420p, and I didn't upload it in your particular transcode bracket. But YouTube does all of that stuff, all of that encoding, and it does it really quickly, and it does it for free. But I think it's the internet with more people, with the internet just getting better. I think self-hosting video content is going to be more of a bigger thing in the future. As more and more people, especially adult content, they're going to see that YouTube's just not the place. And I'm all for that, man. I'm all for shaking things up. Silicon Valley has too much power. There was a recent poll that came out that said more than half of the people doesn't know that YouTube is owned by Google. More than half don't know that. More than half, I think 70%, think Google is a good company doing a good job and offers good services. I mean, you might not know this, but that's so false. Like, sure, there's some of the stuff they do is good, but they are insane in terms of taking your privacy away from you. I mean, they are literally changing the landscape of privacy in the modern world. And some people think that's fine. You know, I mean, it's crazy. Hey, shout out to Jane Pentecost for the £5 donation. Been a while since I've caught you live. Thanks for all you do. Hey, thank you for your donation, and thank you for all you do. Thank you so much, man. Much love, brother. Can you chat with a Facebook page via a live stream? Yes, I can do a live stream on Facebook. I can do that. I have done that in the past, actually. You can do that. Yes, I can do it on the group too. I can do it in the group. I've streamed to the group and I've streamed to a page before. You can, yes. You can. And I could do that more in the future. You know, that's something that I could do if that's something that you guys wanted. There's just not many people were watching it on Facebook. They were all watching it on YouTube. So why spend the extra money, because it does cost a little bit to do that, when I could just do it for free and you guys are just gonna watch it on YouTube anyway. Maybe I might not have a choice in the future, but that's something that, you know, we'll cross that bridge when it gets here. I guess it means, for example, you can't say if any type of nicotine is good or recommended or not. Yeah, that is something that is interesting too. I don't know exactly the policy there. I just don't know. I don't know the policy there. I personally don't like to recommend it either, just because I don't think it's something that should be recommended. You're an adult. You can recommend it to yourself or not, right? I'm just going to give you resources to make that decision. I personally enjoy it, but I don't think it's I don't think it's like, some people really love nicotine. I don't think it's that great either. You know, I think it's okay. I just don't see that. I just don't think of it as a big deal, really. But I don't know what the policy is around that. I see it more as like, if you are reviewing a product and you specifically say go here to purchase this product, and that product is a regulated good, meaning it has nicotine, it is considered a tobacco product, then essentially you're violating terms of service. When it comes to components and stuff, sure, I guess there's a gray area there that you could say that violates terms of service, but it would be a little bit harder to. I mean, these could be used for anything and not just nicotine. You know what I mean? I watched Jay Hayes' stream. It was heart clenching. Got 3 strikes on old videos, and the issue was the review on pre-filled pods. Oh, the pods strike again. Oh, the pods strike again. Vic has rebelled in causing a lot of drama in the UK, and there are people that think he's got what he deserves. Has rebelled and got what he deserves. I mean, I don't think anyone deserves anything like that. I don't know what happened. I mean, I've maybe watched, you know, the most I've seen of him was today when I was looking at this topic. I've of course heard of him, but I just really don't watch a lot of that content. But I did see that there was a lot of people that, yeah, they did seem happy that this was happening. I was just like, oh man, what the fuck happened here? You don't want that. You don't want people cheering your demise. But who knows? Maybe I don't know. Maybe they have good reason to believe that. I have no idea. In the middle, Jen Winstead, in the middle of a pandemic, Wayne is growing his mustache. Rebellion to the core. Can you notice it? Hold on. Can you notice it? I don't know. I guess you can. Well, hopefully it looks good. How's it look? Does it look good? All right. I need a zoom in button. I need so many new things. All right, let's get mixing. Let's get mixing. If you missed the Joe Rogan thing, I spoke about it previously. All right, I gotta watch this Jay Hayes video. I didn't see that. Yeah, I can certainly stream to Facebook if you guys were to watch it there.
Mom, I want a vape.
I watched your stream a few times on Twitch, but you seem to not notice any comments or questions from Twitch stream, so I went back to YouTube to watch your stream. You know, I do neglect the Twitch comments more so than I neglect the YouTube comments. I will make more of an... I mean, I have them up. If I showed you my screen, I have them up. I can show you my screen. I do have them up. But there's just so much more action on YouTube. It's so hard to look at both. You know what I mean? I'm only human, guys. I'm only human. I'll do a better job of trying to keep an eye on Twitch, though. Sorry, Twitch. I'm not neglecting you. I love you guys because you guys are using the superior platform for watching the channel. I mean, I'm coming in a crispy, beautiful 6500 bitrate. I like to see more independent websites that don't depend on platforms like YouTube, kind of like the old days when the web was the Wild West. Yeah, I mean, me too. That's how it's moving. It is moving that way, at least with adult content, more controversial content. You have to do it that way. I was so surprised when I saw people. I mean, I was building DIY or Die years ago, and I still see people in the vape world opening Patreons. What are you doing? You could create it so easily on your own and don't have to worry about anything like that. You don't have to worry about any censorship. Whatever you do is what you do, and you get all of the money. You don't split it with Patreon. It's crazy to me. Sure, it's easy, but nothing good in life is easy. So, get rid of that Patreon. Set up yourself your own site. Take your own payments. Manage your own shit. You control all of it. You don't have to worry about getting banned. I mean, you need it. You need it, especially in vaping. Stop it. We still love you. No, I love you. Twitch. All right, you know what? I'm going to start neglecting YouTube now. So the Citadel contains exactly the same amount of crystal meth as it does nicotine. Good point. I never thought of it that way. That's a great point, Nefarian. That's a good point. I like that. All right. Graham's always trying to push everyone to Chatterbait. Chatterbait, to as much as shit as they might get, they do have an impressive uptime. Like the fact that they are able to serve that much streaming. I mean, it's hard to stream video. I did it on my site for Extracted. I still run into problems with it. I mean, you're sending so much bandwidth down your pipes that it's hard to deal with just a few thousand subscribers, right? Imagine hundreds of thousands, millions of subscribers. That's a huge infrastructure, and you have to parse all of the videos previously. I mean, it's a lot of like back end stuff going on that you need to be wary of. YouTube takes care of all of that, and that's why they're so big. But hey, man, it is impressive that Chatterbait can go on for that long. I have no problem with it. Hey, get your money, get paid. All right, let's get into mixing. I got the overhead cam. This is the first time. I'm just having a fun show today. This is the first time we have the overhead cam live today on live stream. Oh yeah, look at that. You don't see production value this high in vaping. I'm sorry, I'm the only one. All right, let me see if I can get this exactly perfect. Yeah, that looks good, don't it? That looks good to me. It looks like it's a little crooked, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Oh man, that looks good. It looks good. You might not be able to see the numbers that well. Can you see the numbers? Press 1 in the chat if you can see the numbers on the scale. It looks a little hard to see. It's just because the LB501, the screen actually goes, it like tilts down, so it reflects light in a fucked up way. Like if I did that, you could see it easily, but I can't do that. So let me know if you guys can see that there. There we go, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know you're streaming on No Life YouTube? I am? I did not know that. Thank you for the heads up on that. Wait, why would I be streaming on No Life YouTube? Shut up, Siri. Wait a second. Why would I be doing that? Oh, maybe I am, dude. That's okay. Hey, free content on No Life. Yeah, I am. Okay. Free content on No Life. Hey, by the way, I do a tech and gaming podcast every week, Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern with me and my buddies. It's called No Life. You can follow us on Twitch or on our YouTube. Just follow on Twitch, and you can get that content. We've been doing it for years now, and I'm having a blast with it. I'm never going to stop doing it. All right, so we got the overhead cam up and set up. Put something on the scale, and we'll guess the number. Yeah, it looks like you guys can barely see it. Okay, let me see. Let me see if I can do something. I mean, if I do this, it's probably hard to see, but if I do this, you can see it. Yeah, it's just gonna be hard to see, guys, for now, until I think of a better way to do this. Maybe I can get a little. I don't want to get too close because then it's like. There you go. That's a little better, right? That looks a little better, right? As long as you can faintly see it. What if you turn off the screen, then you can't? Is that better? Should I? All right, here. All right, in the chat, press 1 if I should leave the screen on, the light on. Press 2 if I should keep it off. So 1, 2. One, two. 1, 2. You know, I think having it off might be better. Having it off might be better. All right. I see 2. Okay. I see more 2s, guys. So sorry, 1s. If you can't see it too much. Hey, maybe I could do this. Maybe I should clean it a little bit. How's that? A little better? There's like a stain glare on there somewhere. I don't know why. All right, we're gonna keep it off for now. We'll keep it off for now. All right, so guys, we are doing peanut butter. See, this is another problem is that I have it in my face. It's okay. Hopefully it's not too distracting. I need a mic too, a boom mic, so this isn't in the way. Like, how much better would that be if there was no mic here? So many new things I need to do. So we are going to make chocolate peanut butter banana pancakes. First thing comes to mind is banana nut bread. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you guys that I wanted to sort of I think it's called Top of New York. Yeah, it is. Top of New York. Oh great. Now my website's fucked up. What's going on here? I'm gonna have to go to ELR. Maybe it's on ELR. Is it privated? I might have privated it for some reason. All right, so this is my banana nut bread. This is my blueberry banana pancake recipe. And it utilizes banana nut bread, bilberry, brown sugar, almond, caramel, cookie, nut mix, Capella vanilla custard, and vanilla swirl. And I want to take some inspiration from this because this is one of my best recipes, easily one of my most underrated. I actually was able to sell a rendition of this more recently, and this was one that I made in 2017. No, I think I even made this earlier. I guess maybe 2017. Wow, I thought I made this way earlier than that. Maybe I updated it? I don't know. Yeah, see, there's comments from 2015. So this is a 2015 recipe. I guess I updated it in this time or made it public or something. I don't know. But, this is an old recipe, and I think it's one of my most underrated. It's very, very good, and I want to just kind of take away from it what I possibly can. So I know that the banana nut bread, almond, caramel, custard swirl sort of mix thing going on here, it does create a really nice sort of almost like a bran, like a cereal bran pancakey flavor, like a banana breakfast flavor. And I kind of want to take that, we're going to infuse that with a little bit of chocolate. I'm going to use a very, very light amount of chocolate and then a light amount of peanut butter, and that should give us our recipe. I got inspiration from Doobie. Doobie is doing a chocolate peanut butter, and I said, you know what? Let me try chocolate peanut butter. I don't know if we've ever done one on the show before. So I'm kind of taking his idea a little bit, and we're just going to expand on that. So let me bring up all the flavors here. How do I do this? That's okay. Let's open up a new one. Let's get some thinking music going. What do you guys say? I like to play a little bit of music during this. Let me know if that's too loud or too low. Can't quite hear it. Oh, I can't hear it. All right, so let's get back to this. What am I doing? All right, so we got that 5%. I'm thinking the brown sugar makes sense here as well. We're gonna do the FA cookie. That should take care of some of that AP. I don't want to add any AP in here. We need some caramel. I actually might instead go with butterscotch. Flavor Arts butterscotch at 0.5%. Or should we go maple? Flavor Arts maple syrup. Just like a touch of maple syrup. Because it is pancakes. Oh, I can't find my maple. All right, the type of chocolate we're gonna need. Your stream pulls in all the mixing superstars. Chat is chock full of awesome mixers. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good hang, man. It's a good hang on Fridays, 5 p.m. DIY on YouTube. We just have fun, kick it, talk about news, do a little mixing, end the week on a chill note. I like to play some trip hop. You know, we get some chill music going on. It's a good way to just decompress from the week and ride out with some good vaping. It's hard to deny Australian chocolate. I feel like every time I pull it out, I'm like, it's just so legit. But do I do it over chocolate cream? I'm leaning more on the chocolate cream on this version. I think it might pair better with the peanut butter. And we don't have to go too crazy. I don't have my I'm missing something. I'm missing flavor art maple, I think. Might have to go TFA. We're gonna go TFA maple. It's a little. It's maple syrup actually. Just a half. Lots of halves of percents here. Then we're gonna go. Yeah, we got the cookie. We need the peanut butter. We're gonna do this at 4%. And then Hankson's chocolate cream at, I don't know, maybe a 0.5% to start, just to see. I don't want a lot of chocolate. I want more like a chocolate chip flavor, so kind of light. So we'll go a 0.5%. You know, I'm kind of thinking like Flavora cookie also. Maybe instead of flavor art cookie, Flavora cookie, but I do use that a lot. I feel like we just did something with that. It's so good though, dude. It works in such a great way to add a little touch of chocolate to a bakery. And we're gonna do a 0.5% here. Let's just give this a try. How's that look? Does that look good? Cookie bite. That's not a bad idea, actually. Oh, no, I fucked up. I'm making 55 mils. Dude, doesn't that peanut butter just smell so good? Every time I use it.
That top milk, that cream, pure vanilla, sweeteners.
Hey Wayne, I got a Hadeon on January. Which cap is more flavorful, the Hadley or the Entheon? Any tips on getting better flavor on the Hadeon? The Hadley cap, like the Hadeon cap. Hadeon is an Entheon with a Hadley cap, so you're gonna get good flavor with that. Throw a Fuse Clapton or an Alien in there. Make sure it's like nice and wide open. You're getting good airflow. It's gonna taste great. Oh yeah. Let's do some testing. Let's get a drip going. I gotta show you the drips. Of course, need a new battery. Yeah, it's time to get these batteries. It's time to put them in their grave. They're just not lasting nearly as long. Even this one.
That's pretty darn impressive.
Not too bad. It's a little off though. It's a little off. I think the chocolate is fucking things up. It's not coming through correctly. Ready? Check this out. I'm not getting quite the right bread notes. You know what I mean? Like Phil here with his baguette. I'm not getting the bread notes correct. They're kind of bread as in like that cakey, pancakey. Pancakes are kind of bready. And I'm not kind of getting that through that well. So it's kind of feeling a little bit watery and a little thin. Everything else is good though. The peanut butter banana mix is very nice. delicious, actually. Peanut butter banana mix is delicious. So we're going to keep that the same. Someone said cookie bite. That's a good suggestion. That is a good suggestion. Wouldn't something with eggy cake note help it? Don't pancakes taste like a little eggy? Well, that's what the custard was in there for in the original. I didn't add that in here. So I think maybe we're going to have to. But I just don't want to cream it up. Yeah, I think cookie bite would work here, actually. I think that would actually create that pancake flavor. Well, that could also work for our chocolate. You know, the maple I might have to, I don't know. I might leave the maple out and instead just keep maybe even the butterscotch. We'll go brown sugar with the caramel, like the original. Brown sugar with the caramel. And, we have the custard, maybe the premium custard instead. Let's try this version out. So we're gonna make some tweaks here. We're gonna keep the banana nut bread at 5, brown sugar at 1/2. We're gonna remove the cookie, remove the butterscotch, remove the maple syrup, remove that. We're gonna add the cookie bite. Yep. And we're gonna add, oh, this is butterscotch. Come on, I mean, like, that looks like a caramel to me. You know what I mean? If that's not a caramel, I don't know what is. I'm a very, very visual person. That looks like a caramel. I mean, come on. It looks so much more like a caramel than this looks like a caramel. How is that supposed to be a caramel? The other one looks way more like a caramel. Yeah, so we're going to do that. Caramel. Yes, I'm saying it correctly. I already know people in the comments right now. Caramel? It's not caramel, it's caramel. No, it's caramel. One word, caramel. Caramel is 3 words. All right, cookie bite, 3%. I kind of want like a nice punch of it in there. Caramel, what do I have it at the original? The original, we have it at 1/2, so we'll do 1/2. Custard premium, we're going to do at 1%. That even might be a little too much. 0.75. Keep it a little, I really want the peanut butter banana, that beautiful blend to kind of stand out. And I do want to increase this to 5%. Yeah. All right, round 2, baby. Round two. Cause I got 5 on it. Cause I got 5 on it. You ever hear that song?
That's pretty darn impressive.
Okay. Let's get dripping. Let's get the tunes back up. Where's the tunes at? Cause I got 5 on it. What a good song, dude. Seriously. Just ordered $70 in batteries. Yeah, that's the way to go. That's what I usually do. I'll drop like, you know, 50, 60 bucks in batteries and just be good for a few months. They really, I mean, we really push these things to the edge and they just don't last as long as I hoped. I thought I'd get a few years out of it, but it's not the case. You really only get a few months. Oh, it smells so good. Case home. Hello, wife! Ah, I didn't show you the drip. It's okay. Pretty close. It's pretty close.
To talk about vaping, anything and everything to do with vaping.
What's up? What the heck? Do I shake my nicotine? I sure do. I sure do. This nicotine is starting to go on its like last legs. What sucks is that this is like full. It's like still relatively full, and I use this for my own personal as well as my testing. And it's like it's gotta be like about that full. And I've been using this for a long time. Like this stuff really lasts a long time. So if you do buy a liter, you might want to break it down and store the other away in a dark, cool environment that's not gonna have any humidity, any heat, and just store it. Otherwise, you're gonna run into an issue that I just did, where by the time you even think about going through it, it's gonna oxidize. So I'm gonna have to replace this with one of my newer ones soon. I wanted to use it as long as possible just to show you like the color doesn't tell the full story. It looks a little darker than it is, than it came. And yes, that is an indication it's starting to oxidize, but it's still good. I could still probably get about a month or so out of this, maybe even a couple of more months. But I think it's on its last legs. And it's really time to replace it. All right, how do I explain this? I'm gonna try to explain. I want you guys to mix this up. It's hard for me to really explain in words. So this is really close. It doesn't quite scream pancakes because there's no maple in it. The maple makes the pancake. It really does. When you taste that maple, you think of French toast, you think of pancakes. Because it doesn't have any of that in there, your brain doesn't quite make that connection, but what saves it is the texture of the mix. So the banana nut bread, the cookie bite, just creates a nice sort of floury, fluffy cake flavor. That the custard does help. It helps give it that little buttery, eggy flavor in there. And then you kind of pound it with peanut butter, pound it with a banana and a touch of chocolate, and you have this mix, which is really delicious. It's really, really good. It's really close. It's not 100% accurate. If I were to sell this to a company, we'd probably be like, you know what, we need to get a little closer to the pancake profile. But if I were to post this and tell everyone who can see the recipe that this is a peanut butter chocolate banana pancake, then you could do so, and then the experience works because you can see the recipe. Kate, come here. I just want you to try this. You don't have to be on camera. Let's see if she says Jolly Rancher again.
Mom, I want a vape.
Hey, thank you for the follow. I want you to try this. I want you to tell me if you could taste any pancake or if you just taste Jolly Rancher. Just vape it.
Smells familiar.
Do you taste? It's supposed to be a peanut butter.
Don't tell me. Why would you tell me what it's supposed to taste like?
I just want to know if you taste it.
It smells. It tastes chocolatey. A chocolate eclair.
It doesn't taste like Jolly Rancher?
No.
Wow, we did it, guys.
Well, it's not fruity.
We created something that doesn't taste like a Jolly Rancher. Yeah, that's a success in my book. That's a good show.
I also ate a Jolly Rancher today, so
Oh, so you have
it's
the.
fresh in my memory.
All right, this is supposed to be a peanut butter banana chocolate pancake.
Okay, that was kind of close.
What did you taste any of that?
I tasted chocolate.
Did you get any like
Well,
cakiness?
now I taste banana. Now that I think about it.
Want to try one more time now that you know? Someone said pancake Jolly Rancher.
I don't really taste. Well, you don't taste the peanut butter until after.
Do you taste the pancake?
What kind? Buttermilk? Oh yeah.
Just pancake. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, that's close enough. As long as you get an impression of pancake, because it's tough. If I would have
Who
put,
eats chocolate peanut butter pancakes?
we're having fun, okay? All right, so that's good. There you go. There's our commercial juice tester. That's a success. That's a good focus group. Why is he looking at you like that?
He loves me.
Why is he looking like that?
You missed me today.
Go play with him somewhere. He's been trapped in this room with me all day.
Get a cold.
Cool, first ever chocolate eclair Jolly Rancher, someone said. All right, so yeah, if we were to implement that maple in here the right way.
Did you show the people your haircut?
No, I didn't. I did get a haircut.
Show your wife.
What do you think? I have little hat hair.
Let me get a close look.
How's the fade?
It looks good, but
You guys should have seen my hair.
not short enough.
I know. They don't want to cut it
You're
short.
a liar. You go there and you're like, oh, put a 2 on top. And
They don't want to cut it short. It's not me. Hey, Riv, want to say hi?
River wants some action.
Yeah, that's my boy.
YouTube action.
River's a star. He gets the final treatment every show. We end the show with River Cam. Right, bud?
River, are you a star? You're a star?
Yeah. All right, get out of here. Dad's working.
Okay, River, come on. Let's go downstairs.
All right, so yeah, if we were to implement the maple in here correctly, we would get a closer pancake flavor, which I don't want to do because I like it now. I'm not trying to perfect this recipe. This is live mixing. We just want to get close enough to on our first couple of tries. Hopefully, I can translate to you through this show, through the years that this show's been on, that you can sit down. Once you gain the experience, you gain the confidence, you gain the understanding of your ingredients, you can sit down and literally create anything that comes to your mind. Anything. Now, some are harder than others, and some might take a few different tries. But, you know, there's only been a handful of times that we failed, right? More often than not, we've been able to create what we want. And that's the beauty of this all. That's the beauty of this art, the beauty of this hobby. It's why I love it. That's why I preach it. I want you guys to enjoy it. We turn the trip hop on, we relax. It's not a chore. This is not something that you should be upset that you have to do, right? This is something that you should come into with a mind that says, all right, what are we going to create today? What am I in the mood for today? What do I want to do this weekend? How am I going to pair this up with what I'm eating, or what I'm drinking, or what I'm going to be doing? That's the kind of attitude you should have in mixing. It's not something that I have to mix now because my state's implementing bans and now I can't get this and I can't do that. It's come into it thinking, oh, well, you know, the state is doing some shit that sucks, but now I can actually get into it all and create what I want and be able to have the vape that I've been looking for. You should come into it with an attitude like, all right, I'm finally making that transition here. Enough's enough. You know, I had enough fucking around. I'm finally going to start to get to a point where I can create the vape that I want and I'm happy with. That's the attitude you should have when you come into mixing. And then, of course, I promise you, once you get into it, you will start buying flavorings. You will enjoy it. You will enjoy the company of other mixers. You're going to start trading ideas. You're going to start trading recipes and profiles. You can start trading your notes, and then you're just going to become a flavor nerd like the rest of us. The progression of the vapor. You start with whatever. You get your pods. You get your sub tanks. You get your commercial juice. You get off smoking. Then you start making your coils, right? You start building your own coils, and then you kind of find your RDA. Then you find the type of vape that you like. And then you get into DIY and you craft the perfect juice for yourself. And then you stay smoke-free forever and ever and ever. And that is the goal here. Hopefully you guys have had a wonderful time here on Live Mixing. There's no more fat in the show. That's it. We're done. We're trimming the fat. Shout out to everyone on Twitch. I love you. I promise you I'm going to pay more attention to you. Just got Quick and Watermelon. Dude, you did a stellar job. So fucking delicious. Hey, Maddie, I'm glad you enjoyed, brother. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you so much for also supporting DIY or Die. If you guys want to support DIY or Die, you can head over to flavorjungle.com, which is formerly known as ECX, and you can pick up my one-shots here at $9.99. It'll get you around 300 mils of product. You can also head over to liquidbarn.com to pick up my Tastemaker one-shots, and these are delicious and an easy way to start your day or start your mixing journey. And then head over to chefsflavors.co.uk to pick it up if you are across the pond in the EU or the UK. Head over to my website as well, DIYOrDieVaping.com. All of my recipes, all of my videos, podcasts, flavor notes, news articles, everything goes up on this website. This is the hub of it all. And yeah, guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today in this show. Recipe will be in the description once it has been uploaded. You can also get the recipe on my website. Just stay updated. Follow me on Twitter. And I'll see you guys next week. Keep mixing. Much love, everyone. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Peace, peace. River is... he's gone, so no River Cam. Sorry. We'll just end it out with where's he at? There you go. All right, everyone. Goodbye.